We're back. Let's go. I'm Rob, hanging out with you on this Football Friday. I didn't give you a countdown. That's a total violation on my part, Tone. So my apologies. All right. So we have 56 minutes and 56 hours and 41 minutes. I think. I know it's hard doing it off the fly, but that's what I got off the top of my head. So welcome back. First off, how you doing? I didn't even ask you how you were doing off the top of the show. You good?
Oh no, man. I feel great, man. Like I said, it's Friday. I'm looking forward to this weekend. Going to do some things around the house. I don't know, man. As I get older, I look forward to doing like the most home
getting old,
related
brother.
Things. Like I've been
domesticated. That's what you are. You're domesticated now,
man. I've been putting furniture together for the past week and a half, for the past 2 weeks, and I'm having the time of my life.
Good. Okay, man. Whatever makes you happy.
Oh man, I got some family coming in town later this month and in January. So just trying to make sure the house is exactly the way I would love for it to be. Me and the wife recently got a ping pong table, so I've been playing a lot of ping pong lately. So man, just taking a step back and kind of just enjoying life more and being in the moment,
right? If you're
and relaxing.
Next step is pickleball. So, no, it's coming. It's coming, baby.
It's just I have a hard time just breathing most days. I'm always just the next thing, and I've been trying to be more present.
I like it. I am guilty of that as well, my friend. I am guilty of that as well. I'm always what's next as opposed to just taking in the moment. So yeah, see that we're giving out life lessons today too on this Friday. Well, that's what we do. That's how we roll here. We're looking to take care of the people. Mental health, as Lane Johnson will tell you, is the most important health. So
yeah, as a matter of fact, did you see the video the Eagles posted?
Awesome. So awesome, dude.
Beautiful, man.
Kelsey, if you're not familiar, Eagles Entertainment put out a really cool video of Kelsey. Essentially, how would you describe it? Was he he was sort of presenting.
They were kind of surprising him with his nomination.
For the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, and Kelsey got really emotional. He said most of the people who are up for this are up for it because they give a lot of money to charity. Mm-hmm. And he said, you walk the walk. You're always trying to help people with their mental health. And he got emotional about it. Stoutland got emotional about it. You could just tell, watching those guys in the offensive lineman room, like it meant a lot to all of them that Lane Johnson was nominated for that. So that's very cool. It was good stuff, dude.
Absolutely. It's something to be said about guys who just want to do good work and don't really care what comes with it. They just want to leave a positive mark on whoever they can. And that's who Lane Johnson is. That's who Jason Kelsey is. You know what I mean? Like those guys, they just had the mentality of just keeping your head down, being the unsung hero. Some guys thrive in that role. Yeah. And Lane Johnson has, he's been through a lot over the past several years, with his own personal journey, his own personal battles. And so far he's come out on the right side of things. And it's pretty awesome to see him being recognized for his contributions.
Yep, it is good. It's one of the many good things that can come out of sports is to get that message across to people. All right. So the question I posed to you and everybody in the chat, please jump in. Mm-hmm. In your estimation, from what we've seen so far, and again, you don't want to read everything into one game, just like you don't want to with Jalen. The Eagles gave up 42 points, and it was a bad defensive game all around. The good news is, it looks like you're getting Zach Cunningham back for this game, which is huge. And it looks like Shaq Leonard, they're going to have him up to speed enough to at least get out there and play. So you're getting two good parts back. I'll tell you, Tone, I'm a little worried. I know Slay wasn't good last week, but he's missed practice the first 2 days this week. And I haven't seen about today yet with that knee. So, although he hasn't been great, you're already short in that secondary. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. But all right, so here's the question I have with all that framing. Do you believe that with this defense, the way that they played this year, you have enough in totality to still win a Super Bowl with this defense, with what we know now?
Well, I don't want to back off my early season projection of the Eagles being back in the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't want to back off of that. So I'm going to dig my heels into the ground and say I still believe the Philadelphia Eagles are going to make it to the Super Bowl, and I still believe they're going to win it. But again, obviously, I'm a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's what I want to happen. But again, I'm still not going to back off of that prediction because they still have an opportunity and they still have the #1 seed. But I can't help but look at this defense and question if they're going to be the Achilles heel to this team in the long run. I can't but look at this defense and say, will they stop? Will they be the reason this Philadelphia Eagles team does not even make it to a Super Bowl? Right? I can't ignore what I'm seeing with my own two eyes. I can't ignore what's being said about this defense. All across the football ecosystem. It's real. The concerns about this defense is real. And I'm not going to pretend like they're not. Despite me having a prediction that they make it back and win it all, this defense has to find a way to elevate what they're doing. Sean Desai has to find a way to limit the bleeding, limit the damage that they're taking. I don't know if I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if they have the pieces. I don't know if they have the talent, or the execution is lacking. The competency is lacking. Your 3 best DBs are over the age of 30.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Tone, if you throw Roby in there, you have Slay, Roby, Byard,
right,
and Bradbury. They're all over 30.
And Reed Blankenship, he's having the best season out of all of them. PFF loves him, and he's already a leading vote getter. For the Pro Bowl.
He's still learning, but he's doing a nice
safety.
job.
Yeah. He's still learning. Has he had some plays in between? Yeah, listen. You play 75, 95 plus plays, back to back, and then you play the 49ers.
And he plays special teams too.
And you play special teams. You're going to get exposed at some point. Like, you're going to have a play or two where you just get rocked or beat or whatever may have you. So I look at this defense and I have real concerns, major concerns that that should not be ignored, that must be addressed. Can this defense stop? Can this defense hold this entire team back from winning the Super Bowl? They damn sure can. And that's a real concern. But I'm not going to back off my early season take saying the Philadelphia Eagles are going to make it back and win it. I don't want to be a flip-flopper like that. I want to stick to my guns, but my concerns about this defense are very real, and they're not going to change unless we see changes.
So here's where I'm at. I think they can still win a Super Bowl with this defense. I think for a couple of reasons. I think the offense is that good and is that dynamic, even though they weren't last week. I think the defense can be better to the point where they're solid. They're not going to be good. And if you think that way, good for you. I don't mean you, Tone, but for people who think that way, good for you. I don't see it. I think they can become serviceable to the point where you're not getting torched. I've seen them have moments. I've seen them play well against the Dolphins. I've seen them play well in other games earlier in the season. And I think they can get closer to that. The secondary is a major problem. The linebackers, hopefully Cunningham and Shaq Leonard can solidify things a little bit, but they're not impact players. I don't think Shaq Leonard is anymore. Adequate is what I'm looking for. And that's the word that Coach Marcus uses, and I agree with him. I think there's enough else there in terms of skill on offense, leadership, culture, coaching, that they can absolutely still win a Super Bowl. I don't think the Chiefs last year were a great defense. They were good. They were solid. They weren't as good as they are this year defensively.
Yeah, they were getting better as time went on. What's so interesting, right? This defense, again, they've been on the field much longer than they should have. Did you know that Josh Sweat, through 12 games, has already surpassed his snap counts from 2022, and he played 16 games?
Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was already past it. Yeah,
and
5 games left.
In 2022, he played 587 snaps, which is 56% of the total defensive snaps. In 2023, he's playing a career high 77% of the defensive snaps. Through 12 games played, a total of 623 total snaps compared to 587 last year. He has 5 games left.
That's scary.
Let's really put that in perspective here. This defensive line has been on the field way too much. And we're expecting this defensive line to carry this shoddy back 7. It's not fair. We're expecting so much of this defensive line week in and week out. We don't realize that we are literally emptying the gas tank before halftime. Like it's they need to do something about it. And yes, the defense has to be better, but also the offense has to be better to sustain drives, to allow your defense to rest. You can't keep having these quick 3 and outs and your defense has to go right back on the field. Yep. They're not going to last. I'm surprised Josh Sweat hasn't missed a game due to injury or whatever it may be. I'm surprised Hassan Reddick, hasn't missed anything. Fletcher Cox is already he already couldn't finish a game. Jalen Carter already missed a game earlier in the year. You know what I mean? Jordan Davis, I think he's dealing with some kind of hamstring that's been lingering for the past few weeks or whatever, but he still plays through it. It's just this offense has to do a better job keeping the defense off the field. And at this point, this team is so imbalanced. Offense has to be the lifeblood.
I agree.
And if they can't get the job done, they're not going anywhere.
Well, I think what you're seeing with the snaps that you just brought up is this goes back to the Andy days and Jim Johnson, and then it carried through with like Schwartz and their other defensive coordinators. But they always want to have a rotation because it keeps guys fresh. They always want to. I mean, no better example than 2017 when you could roll Chris Long and those guys out there, and you were just consistently revolving door of guys getting after the quarterback. And they had it last year too. It's you're seeing the older dudes hit a wall. You're seeing the younger guys hit a wall. It's a combination. I mean, Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter look tired, and it wasn't all that long ago the Eagles had the bye. So that's a little concerning. That's all the more reason why it's so critical to get this home field advantage, this 1 seed, man, is to get a week off. But and the problem you have is, and this is why it's kind of curious to me. Like, I didn't think he was contributing much, but I'm not sure why they let Barnett go. Like you needed kind of bodies there. And maybe they just looked at it like it wasn't productive. He wasn't productive, whatever. But yeah, I mean, these guys are getting more reps than they've gotten, and didn't even bring it up yet, but Christian Ellis was picked up by the Patriots. Now, what that does is you lose a good special teamer and you lose a bit of a depth guy. It's not the end of the world, but it's something. And Ben Van Sumeren, now you're going to see him a little bit more, but nonetheless, I mean, I think that's a problem. I think the lack of depth on the line, because let's face it, Tone, all the success the defense has is hinging on that line. If they're not getting consistent pressure, if it's like Purdy getting the ball out quick like it was last week, if Dak has that kind of, ability to just get comfortable in the pocket, the Eagles are going to have a really tough game. It's going to have to be a shootout if that's the case.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I have a hard time believing this defense can hold the Dallas Cowboys to under 28 points. I have a hard time believing that. So offense has to be stellar. Jalen Hurts has to play the game of his life. Nick Sirianni, Brian Johnson, those guys, they got to stop getting cute in the first half. Okay. Lean on what you do well. Maximize what you do well. And get Jalen Hurts back to playing the football the way he earned the contract. I feel like they're trying so hard to limit the RPOs, and they're trying so hard to limit, what makes Jalen Hurts so dangerous. And you can't do that with a guy like Jalen Hurts, right? I feel like they're trying to – I said this to Cilio yesterday. I feel like what we've been seeing over the past several weeks, it's kind of been the 2021 2-5 game plan when they were forcing Jalen Hurts to throw the ball all over the yard, and they weren't really utilizing his skill set to the best of their ability. But the only difference is they're more talented this go around. Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback. You got A.J. Brown, and Smitty is better, and Goddard is better, and you have DeAndre Swift in the building. So the only difference is they're more talented. So they're able to mask the lackluster play calling or game plan to a certain extent but it always rears its ugly head at some point. So I think they need to get back to doing what they really do well. Stop being cute in the first half, thinking you got to drop back. Like Jalen Hurts shouldn't have 20 attempts. He shouldn't have 20 attempts or more before halftime. It doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I actually think they need to go into Dallas and kind of deploy a similar game plan they did when they first beat Dallas, right? A balanced attack. I think in that previous game they ran the ball like 30 times, they passed it 28 times, or I think they ran it 28 times and passed it 23 times. I can't exactly remember what it was, but it was a pretty balanced attack and they were surgical. They need to get back to that.
Yeah, and I think too, like what the other thing that's happened this week, sort of from a media perspective, is you had a certain bunch of people who came out initially, and count me as one of them, and said that the Eagles got away from the run and they need to run it a little bit more. And then you had a lot of pushback, like from people who cover the team, saying that's not how you win now, blah, blah, blah. First of all, I do think that they could maintain a better balance between the run and pass. And the other thing is, more than anything else, just run it better. Like, block it up a bit better. I thought they pass blocked well. I didn't think they run blocked well. Give a playmaker like Swift more chances. And if that's swing passes, fine. Screens, fine. Whatever. I don't care. I want the ball in his hands somehow, some way, more than, 8 times this past week. So you can parse it any way you want. But I know this. They don't give up on the pass as quickly as they give up on the run if it's not hitting right away. They stay with the pass. So just be a little bit more committed to it. I'm not talking about some 50-50 split. I'm just talking about more than you did it last week. Don't lose sight of the running game. That's all. I'm not lose your mind when you say stuff like that. It's like, I'm not telling you we got to go back to the 70s where you're running it 50 times.
Yeah, no one's saying that. Yeah, I'm not buying that. Whenever I heard people say, "Oh yeah, you can't win with the running game," okay, the Baltimore Ravens, they lead the league in rushing. What's their record? 9-3.
9-3.
They're tied for the number 1 seed.
Yep.
The Miami Dolphins, they're second in the league in rushing. They're tied for the number 1 seed with the Ravens. The Chicago Bears, they suck, but all they can do is run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
The Detroit Lions, they're ranked 4th in the league in rushing. Where are they? 9-3, trying to compete for a number 1 seed in the NFC. The San Francisco 49ers, they're 5th in the league in rushing. What are they? Trying to compete for the number 1 seed in the NFC with a 9-3 record. The Cleveland Browns, I think they're 7th in the league in rushing. 6th or 7th. What are they? They're in the playoff hunt, trying to stay in the mix. They don't have a quarterback, so they're leaning on the running game more and more.
Right.
My point is,
yeah,
the running game will never die, no matter the narrative and the propaganda people want to spread. You need a running game to win. Period. People now, if you want to argue, investigate, if you want to debate the whole paying running backs big money, okay, have at it. I'm not debating that part. But to pretend like you don't need a running game to be successful is asinine and it's irresponsible, if you ask me. Because last time I checked, when we looked at Josh Allen with the Bills, the narrative surrounding them was, damn, man, he has to do everything. They got to give him a running game.
Right.
They got to find a way to get him a consistent running game, man. You can't just keep having Josh Allen, yeah, be a franchise quarterback and be a franchise running back at the same time. You got to protect him. You got to set things up with the running game. Blah 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 blah. I'm tired of people pretending like the running game is obsolete. I'm tired of people pretending like a running game means nothing in the modern day NFL. Do you want to debate contracts of running backs? Okay, I'm with you on that. Running backs should not be getting these massive contracts anymore. However you want to debate it, I'm not here to do that. But the fact of the matter is, you need a running game, and when you can't, see, I'll put it to you this way, right?
Mm-hmm.
If a team can't stop the run, they might as well pack it in, because you're literally beating them into submission.
Yeah,
and they can't do anything about it. If a team is averaging 5 yards to carry on you in a game, you're not winning that game.
No,
it's just that simple.
I agree with you. And look, we all know the other offshoot is you keep the other team off the field. So if you have a high-powered offense like Dallas has, which they do, The best thing is to see Dak Prescott on that bench and the rest of those guys while you're having these time-consuming drives. And you're tiring their guys out as the game goes on. And I get it. Like, I understand. Like, I don't think anybody's debating it's a pass-first league. It's a league where you get a lead with the pass, then you want to run the ball, but you also want to keep teams honest. And I don't know. Look, I don't know that anything would have worked Sunday. The Eagles just got worked, okay? But
the Niners, they want to run the ball. If you know,
right,
the Niners want to run the ball.
And I get it. They have McCaffrey. Like, I get it. But even if they didn't, they would still – when they had Mostert, Shanahan ran the ball.
They still ran the ball.
So just stay a little bit more true to it. Again, nobody's telling you that Jalen, you can't throw it more than 20 times in a game, but just be a little bit more balanced. The other thing is, if Jalen's knee's right, I don't know that it is or it isn't. And this goes back to the David Carr thing. His whole thing was he's not healthy. Okay, maybe he's not.
Nice
but
angle.
if the knee is right, I need some more called runs for him. I know we're all worried he's going to get hurt, but I got to let him be him to an extent. So let's reincorporate that. Like, I saw some of it in Buffalo against Buffalo. We saw it on the game winner against Buffalo. I didn't see much of that. Maybe some of that you can say is because the Niners defense was just prepared for everything. Okay. I mean, I don't know, but I want to see it tried against Dallas, at least attempted.
Right. It's, some people say, is there a chance they're trying their best to kind of save his health for the playoffs and then just unleash him in the playoffs and let him just play his game? It's probable, right? It's plausible. But now we're at this point in the season where you're competing for the number one seed legitimately with everybody now. Like, legitimately. You don't have that 2-game lead anymore. Mm-hmm. Teams are on your heels. You got to do everything you can to get the number one seed. I understand the motive with the Eagles. You want to protect your franchise quarterback. I totally understand the motive. And in the offseason, I was one of those people where I said I wanted him to run less. But I got to a point throughout this season saying, you know what? I want Jalen Hurts to be Jalen Hurts. I want Jalen Hurts at his best the way he sees fit. I'm not here to change that dude. Now, as he gets older, there should be a natural progression. I don't feel like this progression is natural. I feel like they are legitimately saying we're not running the ball with our quarterback, or we're going to run it the least amount of times possible. I'm not rolling with that. I want Jalen Hurts to be Jalen Hurts unequivocally. I don't care who says what. I don't care how they feel about it. Say what you want about his style of play. Listen, this is 2023. There's more than one way to get it done. There's more than one style of quarterback. This is not the 1980s or the 1990s anymore when guys are dropping back and they weigh 260 pounds playing quarterback. This is not that anymore. Okay, guys are getting it done by more means than one way. So I want Jalen Hurts to go out there and beat Jalen Hurts, period. I think this is a game where we see Jalen Hurts get back to the basics against the Dallas Cowboys. What do you think?
I agree. I want to see him be him. Like I said, I don't want to put limits. I don't want to put harnesses on this guy. I want him to be able to unleash. Look, again, if the knee's killing him, I get it. Just be smart about it. That's all. I understand that. If that's a different story, but I want the effectiveness of the RPOs. I want the effectiveness of some QB draws. I want the effectiveness of just what he's able to do to be that threat. I want Dallas to have to worry about potentially his legs.
And then not even just Hurts, right? They need to do a better.
No, just utilize Swift, man.
Yes. You read my mind. They need to do a better job of just putting their running backs in optimal situations.
Yeah.
Like I say this all the time. Crazy. I don't care what year it is or what era I'm in. The first play I'm running is a running play because I need to see where I need to at least test the waters and see how many yards can I get. Right. Even if I get 2 or 3, it's better than me throwing an incomplete pass on first down and now I'm 2nd and 10 rather than 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8, or even 2nd and 6. Like, it's just, I don't understand why the Eagles lately, they've been passing on the very first play. I don't get that. I don't get it. Run the ball, see what they're showing you first. And then, okay, all right, you mix in, like, depending on the situation sometimes, okay, I can understand maybe you want to pass on the first down, but like the first play of the game, get a running play in. Get your offensive line, warm. Get, dictate the action first. Test that defensive line. You know what I mean? Don't First play of the game, have your offensive line backpedaling. Now they're taking damage on the first play. Nah, man. Dictate the action. Dictate the physicality on the first few plays, man. That's how I look at it. But again, some people say that's an old school mentality, and I say no, it's a physical mentality. It's the kind of mentality that I want to whoop your ass on the first few plays and let you know what time it is. But again, I'm a Neanderthal, Rob. Don't pay me any attention.
All right. Let's get a quickie in here, and we're going to come back, and I'm going to hit you with the over-unders that I put together on for both the Eagles and the Cowboys. We do it each and every week before the game. I would say it was probably not a stellar week last week for the over-unders. Would you agree? I think we sort of did about the same level that the Eagles played at, I would think.
Well, I mean, we nailed it for the other team.
Yes. So let's see what we can do here this week with these. So I've set my own lines, and we'll see how it goes. So we'll do that. We got a full-blown NFL segment like we always do, and we'll dig in all the games in Week 14. I can't believe we're already in Week 14, but we are. Including we'll look back at last night's game where the Steelers lost to the Patriots 21-18. Tony, I have a follow-up on our friend who allegedly lifted $22 million from the Jaguars. I have a little update on our friend.
Oh, he ain't my friend. He ain't my friend. Otherwise, I would have had some change in my pocket.
Yeah, he would have been on the private jets. Yeah. So we'll hit that when we get back as well. He's Tony Shields. I'm Rob Ellis. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. I'm going to tell you about Jim Murray and Principal Financial Group. Knowing who to trust with your finances. Think about it. You work way too hard not to have your money invested the right way and not to have it invested with somebody that you trust. And Jim Murray and Principal Financial Group is somebody that I found and that I completely trust, whether it's retirement planning, 401k review, insurance review. You might need help with your employee benefits. If you have a small business, that's another resource that Jim can help you with. I have personally entrusted my IRA, my 401k rollover with Jim, and I couldn't be any happier. You will be too. Give him a call, 610-996-4751, 610-996-4751. You can also email him as well, Murray, Murray.Jim@principal.com. That's Murray.Jim